styling a website for a legal service today with Grace. And you know, last time I made an excellent joke, at least that's what I thought, that Martijn was sitting about a kilometer away from me. But today, actually, we have someone who is more than 1 kilometer away from me. We have Grace. Grace is in Brussels right now, so she's about 200 kilometers away from me. Grace, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. How about yourself?
I'm doing very good as well. So today we're going to work on GuideLex, and GuideLex is your legal service. Like last time, we took a look at how we could communicate the value of your service, of your product better, and then we took all of that information and made an entire landing page out of that. So we just wrote the copy, and today we're going to do the styling, we're going to add some images, we're going to make it look nice, so it's actually ready for launch. And I'll show you guys the website in a bit, but first, Grace, can you tell the people who haven't heard of GuideLex what it is that you do and how you can help people?
All right. So GuideLex is a legal service that I want to be authentic. So I offer 3 services for the moment. I review your contract, I make your contract, and I assess your situation if you have any legal doubts. And my service is offered to young professionals and startups, small businesses that want to make sure that they are safe legally. Mm-hmm. And for this purpose, I do have one-on-one with you guys and try to assess your situation and make sure that you actually are good to go.
Yeah, all right. Awesome. So that's something we did last time. Now, today, what we are going to do is, of course, a styling, but I'll just show everyone here. Last time we filled out the value communication canvas, so we made a nice user persona, Laura, who's a young professional and running a startup or a small business, and she's about, well, let's take the average here, 32 years old, a business owner. She has 2 employees, and she's busy and not really focused on administrative tasks. And then we had needs like reassurance, knowledge, competence, calm, safety, and trust. She wants to save some money. Also, of course, make sure that she doesn't get into legal trouble that will cost her a lot of money. She wants things that are easy to understand. She wants to feel supported and to feel understood. And of course, she's in a startup, so everything has to be fast. And then fears and pains, well, hopelessness, helplessness. Maybe she's in a situation where she has some legal doubts. She doesn't know what to do. And then she doesn't want to be taken advantage of. She fears losing time and money. And legal services can be really expensive. Now, you have some interesting features here, but first let's focus at the experience, because when filling it out, we start with the features, then go to the benefits, and then the experience, but when communicating, we're going the other way around. So we now created a service that's quick and easy, and that makes her feel relieved, listened to and understood, empowered, treated fairly, connected, and supported. And it has all kinds of benefits. If we zoom here, I can maybe actually read it myself as well. She has some validation that the contract will serve her need. She will prevent losing time and money. She can communicate what legal troubles she might have or what the solution might be with her team. And she has an easy to understand and clear reference to understand the problem and the solutions, thanks to an overview on paper and someone that actually listens to the problems, take the time to explain everything to her, and actually does a nice diagnostic. So that's something we did last time. We spent about 4.5 hours on that. It was the most intense live stream we've done so far, I think. But we got quite some stuff done in a relatively short amount of time. And we actually go, if I go to the browser here, you can actually see the result of that. So we have the legal service that speaks your language. And we have all of the copy here. A nice story about why Grace actually got into starting this business. and all the advantages, and then finally the services. So we have basically the outline for the entire website done. As you can see, it's a short one-page website. It's basically the start for her digital journey. As soon as she's online, she can, of course, expand her website, but you always need a minimal viable thing first. And in this case, it's a minimal viable website, I guess. What's the least amount of website we can launch, so at least you've launched something. And I think that it is time to actually make sure that she can launch, so we're going to get right into designing today. Now, before I do that, I would like to ask Grace if she has any questions.
No, I don't. I'm excited to see what your magic can, bring today.
All right, awesome. So, if I'm, oh, by the way, before I forget, we always have some trouble here regarding things like video that kind of crashes, because my computer can't take everything in the world, unfortunately. Streaming and editing and making a website at the same time and running Photoshop as well is a little bit heavy on the CPU. So I would like you to turn off the video.
All right.
So, awesome. Now, if everything is going right, we can still hear you, so that's good. But now we can actually design in a way that people can see without it crashing every 5 seconds.
Okay.
Great. Also, something that I'm seeing is that you are currently editing the front page. Could you get out of there? Because otherwise I can't help you with that.
Yes, of course. I'm gone.
All right, good. I'll refresh the page here. And edit with Elementor. Cool. So as this is loading, we'll take a look here. So to start off, we have a website here that is kind of different from most legal websites. And the reason for that is because we want to give people the experience that we wrote down here. We want to make sure that they feel understood, empowered, but also reassured, safe. So it should feel warm and welcome. Hence the color scheme. It's a warm color scheme, not the black and white, gray suit kind of color scheme that you would normally see with legal services, but something that actually appeals to people and makes sure that they feel like this is a service that understands them and speaks their language. That's what it says literally. Now, Grace, do you want anything like background images here, or should we just leave it like that? What I like about this is because you want things easy and easily understandable, that it's like really minimal, and of course we'll add images later on the page, but would you like something here as well?
No, I remember that we talked about maybe removing some
of the menu items.
Right.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. I also think that maybe it's a good idea to change the main call to action here, because now it says plan a free call, which is not consistent with the call to action that we put here. We want to make sure that we keep consistent, so I'm going to change that later on in the process. However, because the header is now working and functional, I'm just going to leave that to be, and we're first going to focus on the page itself.
Right.
So, yes, I would like to take over. Interesting.
Are you taking over my website?
Well, it appears that you're still editing somewhere on your laptop.
Which is strange. Wait, let me check it out. Log out.
So I prepared some icons that go along with these tags right here. Prevent being taken advantage of. When you're lost, we will help you find your way. Know what you want. Do not lose time and money. And no surprises. Quick 7-day service with the prices up front. So we're going to style that. And I have some icons that go along with it. Because the icons, it may be for the people that decide to watch the entire 4-hour and 45-minute live stream. In the end, you will see that we have some struggle finding the right icons that match the style of the website well. So I already have prepared some of these, so we can easily get them in there when we actually are able to, there we go, to edit. All right, awesome. So why work with us? I think that's fine. Check the prices. I think that the hero, this first part of the website, the first thing that people see, that's the hero. It's called that way because that's the thing that should interest people enough to actually make them interested in your product or service. So if you have a good one, it's the hero of your website. I'll put an image here, and then I'll choose the icons that I'm looking for. Now, what we're also going to do today is we're going to connect Calendly to WordPress, which is not an integration per se, but it is nice to know how that works. And the reason for that is because Grace wants to make sure that people can easily plan a call after they have seen her website, seen her story, and might be interested in booking one of the services with her. So I'm going to the guidelines folder here, and I'm going to import all of these files. All right, good. So these are the icons. Prevent being taken advantage of. Let's see whether we can make something that works here. Grace, can you see my screen, by the way?
Yes, I can. Can I also ask you a question while you're doing that? So when you customize website, and what is the process for you when you're designing?
The process for me when I'm designing.
Yeah.
So can you further, make that question a little bit more specific to what are you referring to? What part of the process?
So to this, because we came to this point, so we have the content and we have everything. So what goes into your mind when you're designing for somebody?
Okay, makes sense. So I might actually change this icon later. We had the process up until this point. So we have the value communication canvas. Before that, I had time to actually talk with you about, okay, what is it that your website represents? What is the main goal of the page? And also, what does your brand stand for? Like, what attributes does the brand have? Should it feel safe, warm? These are all things that we talked about in the first conversation. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So I have that in the back of my mind, and I'm trying to make aesthetic choices based on that. So what fits the brand well? And then it's basically a checklist. Okay, we want to make, if we look, for example, in the value communication canvas, we want to make sure that it comes across as quick and easy, that it empowers people, that it's reassuring and feels warm and welcoming and safe. So these are the choices that I have to make. Okay, do the design elements actually fit that description? And of course, that's not 100% objective, but you can get pretty far with that. I mean, most people would agree that if you put like really bold and fat capital typeface, that it doesn't come across as, oh, hi, nice to meet you. It doesn't come across as warm and welcoming. It's more a bold statement. So the design process is pretty much finding an aesthetic that matches the brand attributes and the value communication canvas that we've created before.
Okay.
So I'm constantly running a checklist in my head. And that's something you can do for yourself as well. Now, a second part of the design process is to make sure that everything is consistent. So as you can see here with these icons, they all have the same color, they all have the same style. And something that makes websites look a little bit off is if you have one icon that's designed one way, and then in the next like right next to it, you have an icon that is designed completely differently.
Okay. Okay.
So you want to make sure that you're as consistent as you can possibly be. Now, there's already something that annoys me about the consistency here, and I'll just leave it for now, and then you can tell me whether you notice it as well. Yeah?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to choose this image here. Cool. So, what do you think annoys me here with the icons?
The size?
You think they're too big?
I'm not sure for the first one. Oh, maybe because you have like corners.
Yeah, it's the
might
first one.
look-
There you go.
Okay.
It's the
Okay.
corners, right?
Yes.
That's what annoys me, because everything is nice and round, and they are all about the same size.
Right.
And then here the consistency is off. So this is something that is immediately noticeable, and that makes your website look a little bit less aesthetic than you might want to, which is a really nitpicky kind of thing, obviously, but that's also part of the design process. How can we make everything consistent throughout the entire website? If we use one kind of heading here, we should use it in another place as well. What font sizes do we use? It should be the same everywhere.
No.
And these things are nitpicky, but at the same time, they tie everything together. If everything is a little bit off, then it's noticeable. When one thing is a little bit off, it's fine, you know? But if everything is just a little bit off, even it's just tiny bit, then the entire website feels off. Even though everything works on its own. And that's the biggest mistake between brackets, because often, everyone is free to do things the way they like to. But if you want to make your website look professional, being inconsistent in the design is the most common mistake. So people see something that they like. They're like, oh yeah, I really love drop shadows. And they'll put a drop shadow somewhere, and then a little bit later in the page, there is never a drop shadow again. No one uses that again.
Can I ask what is a drop shadow?
So I'll just show you real quick.
Okay.
And then you can immediately see that it doesn't work for your style. Now let me see. So if I would put one on here, for example, a drop shadow is this thing. You see it? It gives the idea there's shadow.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Now,
yeah.
if you would do that in one place and then nowhere else, your website becomes inconsistent.
Right, okay.
And it might look nice for one part of the website, but then you're like, okay, am I still looking at the same website? It's the same with buttons. It's the same with fonts. Often when I visit websites and I'm looking, okay, what can be improved? The main thing that can be improved is just the consistency throughout the board, because every element works on its own, but it doesn't work together.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to make sacrifices to make some things a little bit less beautiful in order to make sure that the entire thing becomes more beautiful instead.
Okay.
I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it does.
Awesome.
So
I have heard from a couple of people that I'm good at over-explaining.
Right. No, but to summarize, if I have like a clear vision of what you said, is that consistency is key, basically. Yeah. That you want things there. But then if
to summarize, be consistent with the values of your brand, with how you want to communicate, and the graphic design choices that you've made up until that point.
Okay.
That's the key to making professional designs. And that's something that everyone can do quite easily.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay. So is it something personal, or is there like a book, or it comes from your experience, that people, like these kind of things, or
Well, there are a lot of branding experts that would, of course, talk about a consistency. I cannot really pinpoint, okay, this is where I got it from. This is also something that I noticed going through my own design process over and over again and seeing what works and what doesn't work. So I think that, you know, I can't give you any sources, or this is a book you should read kind of type. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I mean, if it's by experience, then you can, it's legitimate. Like if people, uh, you know, maybe there are some exceptions to the rule, but if it's kind of like a latent rule, well, I get
Well,
it.
to be honest, there's for every rule there's an exception, right?
Yeah.
So this one is also not, and this rule is of course not an exception to the fact that all rules have exceptions. But
Yeah.
what is the exception is, and then even then, I think you should still try to be consistent. Is if you want to break the page. So sometimes, and this is something I did, for example, with Vegan Treasure Box, and I'll just grab their website real quick. As you can see, it is consistently aligned to the left, everything, except for one part, and that's the 50% off on the first box. Sign up for a waiting list now. So the call to action is aligned in the center, so it breaks the page. That's the only thing that's not consistently aligned.
Okay.
However, there's a reason why that's the case. We actually tried putting it on the left, but it catches the attention now because it breaks the page. And we want to draw the attention to the call to action because we want people to sign up. So you can make a deliberate decision to sometimes make something a little bit different so it catches the attention more. That's based on, psychology and neuromarketing. Okay, what do you do in order to make sure that you catch the attention of your client? However, you can see we still use the same font, we still use the same colors. So in that sense, it's still consistent. So it's an inconsistent consistency.
Yeah. That's very cool. That makes me think that, last time we talked about pricing a little bit, and we actually talk about the way that we design the price, and it would be per contract and stuff like that. So I was thinking for services, because this website that you showed me is for products, for services, and if I have like on a break page or something, I can say that, for example, if you have two contracts, I do 50% off of each contract.
Yeah.
Is it something that that does break the page, like, kind of when you design it, or?
I'm not sure whether I completely understand your question. So you're asking whether adding a discount will break the page?
Yes. Let's say under the price page or section below, if I state my prices very clearly, but then for making a contract, if, for example, somebody has two contracts or three contracts that want, to be done, if I put a discount for the three, is it breaking the page or not?
If you put a discount for the tree, is it breaking the page?
Yes. If I say, for example, 50% off of the second contract, like if I make a second contract, then it's 50% off.
I mean, in some way, yes, but then that's not directly related to the design. It's more related to the copy.
Okay.
And you can also create breaks in that. For example, what you could do is that you could be really warm and welcoming in oh, that was not what I was going for. In most of your copy, because then when you actually do make a bold statement,
Mm-hmm.
it will leave way much more of an impression.
Okay.
So then you have a break there. But if you do that too often, then people don't know what you stand for.
Okay.
So it's always a balancing act, as Thomas Blackman would say.
Okay. I understand.
All right, great. Cool. So we have here, why work with us? Prevent being taken advantage of. When you are lost, we will help you find your way. Know what you want. Do not lose time and money. And no surprises. Quick 7-day service with the prices up front. Now, I know for a fact that you really prefer things written in the right way, and I'm not the same way, I guess.
Yeah.
I write the way I speak, which is, more informal. But do not. Can we change that to don't? Or do you want to keep it this way?
I want to keep it this way.
Okay. Let's do a quick review then of this part of the page. So we have here, why work with us? Prevent being taken advantage of. When you're lost, we will help you find your way. Know what you want. Do not lose time and money. No surprises. Quick. Okay, cool. So there's two things that I would like to discuss. First thing is the aesthetic, whether that fits what we're trying to achieve. And then finally, the order of these columns. So first, how do you like the way this looks?
I really like it. I like the round because it gave me security. And I liked also the fact that in everyone you have like it's very coherent. And the second one, when you say when you're lost, I like the compass. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
And very centered as well. Like I like it.
Awesome. So, okay, I'm glad to hear that. Then you already answered the question after that as well. How does that relate to what we're trying to communicate? So you can, it communicates the safety and the clarity as well, because everything looks similar.
Right.
And also, I've very deliberately, because with other websites, I often choose icons that are more abstract. I've very deliberately chosen some really literal icons, as in prevent being taken advantage of. This is a guy that's about to be shot. So, that represents it well. Or, he's targeted. Let's say it like that. He's not being shot, he's targeted.
Targeted, yeah.
Yes.
That's better.
Yeah, that's better. There's no gun there, so he's being targeted. And then you have the compass, because that's when you were lost, we will help you find your way. Know what you want, don't lose time and money. Well, we have both a clock and a coin in there, and no surprises, quick 7-day service with the prices up front. So we have the clock to represent quick, we have the calendar to represent 7-day service, and then prices up front to represent the money. So we have that coin there again. So that's also a way of finding your tone in design. Is, do you want the images to be more literal or more abstract? Because that could communicate two different things. If you make it more abstract, it comes across as more creative. If it's more literal, it comes across as more clear, more formal, more informative. Okay, finally, let's look at the order.
Yes.
So, prevent being taken advantage of. I'm not sure whether that should be the first thing. I really like the compass, so maybe we would like to put that there.
I agree.
And then know what you want. Don't lose time and money. I think this is a better order. What do you think?
I think also the no surprise quick and it should come, maybe after the clock.
Oh, like that.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is fun because we can also see how that completely changes the story of the page, just
Yeah,
the order. So
exactly.
now it's way more coherent. Um, at least I think so.
Yeah, me
Also
too.
with the change that you made. Where you're lost, we will help you find your way. Know what you want so you don't lose time and money. There are no surprises. We have quick 7-day services with the prices up front. Prevent being taken advantage of. And then the
Right.
next part is the guide to your legal empowerment. So you're at, all right, there's like a consistent storyline here.
I
So
agree.
that's good. Nice change of order, which is something that is, funnily enough, it it works so much better changing the order once you have already put in the design elements, right? Things
Yes.
become so much more easy that way, because the eye connects the copy to the icons, so we can group the information more easily now, and
Okay.
that makes us more aware of the order we can put it in. Okay, cool. So, the guide to your legal empowerment. In April 2020, while working at a law firm, I received an emergency call from a client. So, this is the story, right?
Yes.
There's two things that I would like to do here. First of all, this is a good place to add a nice picture of you,
Oh,
the professional one. And then
okay.
also, and that's going to be one as well, is like we might want to have uh, a signature there. Not your real one, obviously, but a signature that represents something personal. Because if you make a signature, if you set a signature, it feels really personal.
Hmm.
Um, so I've done that on a couple of websites. I did it with Janine as well. I showed you her website as an example. And you can see how that makes a difference. Because it's something handwritten, and people just associate handwritten stuff with a more personal approach. And
Right.
that is also a little break in the page, because we have a consistent font choice throughout the page, and then we
Mhm.
have that one little thing that makes it stand out a bit, just as a touch of extra personality. So we're going to have to design a uh, a signature for you. And what would you like to have in your signature? Your
Um,
full name, part of your name, only Grace, which is of course really personal because then it's just your first name.
yes. Yeah, I think only Grace is very personal, so I like it. And also, maybe I don't know if the color, like you'll change the background of the color, or the white is very clear, and you think
I will
design
change.
wise.
I think actually I will change the background color here.
Yeah.
I think I will. Yes.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, Grace is very nice to have
Okay.
as a
So
signature.
then I will go to Photoshop, and in the meantime I can quickly check. Ah, great. We're still live. I have some anxiety about that right now, these days.
Can you explain?
Because yesterday we were doing a live stream, and then in the middle of the live stream, we got a text from Henrik, like the other guy from Vegan Treasure Box,
Yeah.
who couldn't be there. He was in the audience watching the live stream. He said, "You guys, you know the stream stopped, right?" Because we were asking him, "Oh, do you still have any questions?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know the live stream stopped." So it turns out the internet went down for a couple of seconds in the office building, and then we were offline, but we didn't know yet because according to my software, we were still streaming. So we explained things for half an hour without being live.
Oops.
Yeah, not the best idea.
But I confirm that we're live.
Awesome. So we have here the purple that we actually are using throughout your website as the color of your fonts of the text.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and put Grace there. How's that?
That's very nice.
Can put a dot there as well.
But I don't know about the font. Is the one that you use for Janine?
Maybe.
Could be different.
Why?
Because I like to be unique.
Ah, you like to be unique. All
Yes.
right, we can see what else I got here. Decor. Because it's really hard to find a good signature font. So I use that one a lot. Because you want to have something that looks kind of organic. We have here Bambi. Okay, that's nice. This is something, I think this looks a little bit too child-like. Like this is how I would do my signature in primary school.
You're very advanced for your age. You already signed in primary school. Damn, that's like
of course,
very early.
We have this one.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Now, can I be honest though? This is the one that I use for my fake signature.
Okay.
So you're still not that unique then. So let's see if there's any other options. If you really want to be unique, because I really like the one that Janine had as well with your name, because it gave that nice a nice swing. Let's see. You know what? I think we should actually go for Alexis here. I mean, it looks nice. It looks nice. It looks kind of formal, but at the same time, it has a nice playfulness to it.
All right.
I added a dot. As you can see, actually, also on the websites, I add dots everywhere. And you're like, why do you keep adding dots everywhere?
Yeah, why?
It's reassuring.
For you or for...
No, it's a weird thing, but if you add a dot at the end of the sentence, you're more reassuring because, yeah, I don't know what the exact psychology behind that is, but you clearly state when something ends.
Okay.
And if there's anyone who is expert on this matter, actually has other information on that, I would love to hear it, because this is just my theory, so I could be very, very, very wrong. But this is how I think it works. Okay, let me see if I can actually turn this one a little bit more to... Does that work? Okay, not really. Oh. Okay, I'm going to put the dot on another text layer.
So again, you're looking for consistency, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And it has a certain sweetness to it, I think. But this is like the part of me that is like completely design mode, you know?
Right, yeah.
It's like, okay, this is not completely objective, but it's connecting the literal dots in this case. Like, okay, why do I feel like a dot is the right choice here? It's for the sake of reassurance. But it sounds a little bit artsy. But if you think about it, it makes sense, right?
Yes.
Or at least I hope so.
Well, you are the expert, so...
Transparent pixels. There we go. I'm going to go to quick export as PNG. And then I'm going to put that into your guidelines folder. Signature race. There we go. So I'm going to go back to our browser here. And I'm going to import that one. So what I also want to do, because this section, it talks about empowerment, right? That's part of the experience that we're mentioning here. And I want to visualize that as well. And the way I want to do that is by making the image taller than the actual section. So I'm going to give the background a nice color in a bit. And then I'm going to make the image of you taller so it stands above the section. So it looks empowered because you're, you know, taller than than life, so to say.
Okay. But my signature will be a little bit smaller, right?
Oh, obviously.
Okay.
This is not. I'm not really a big fan of huge logos and signatures and that kind of stuff. You got to keep things more.
Oh no, I just meant would it be smaller because at the time it was really big on the screen.
Yeah, that's why. But I prefer things a little bit smaller myself because otherwise it's a little bit too huge. I think we should have some extra space here. That's better. In this case, I want to be consistent again, so I'm going to change that in the other parts of the page too. Some line height. Do you know what line height is?
Line height?
Yeah.
No.
It's how much space every line of a text takes up. So as you can see, it changes the amount of space between every sentence, every break of every sentence.
All right.
Can you see that? If you don't, you
Yes.
just say, sure, Griffin. I can totally see what you're talking about.
No, I really see that.
And then you're like, nerd.
I see that. The only thing is also like when you put, for example, the text, is it aligned? Because I see, for example, that at the end of the sentence, you know, I receive an, and then there is like a hole between an and then emergency. You see, is the text aligned or?
A hole between what?
It's like there is like a space between an and then there is like a big space and then emergency call in the text.
It's aligned to the left, yes.
Okay, and that is what you want? Like,
do you prefer justified? That's also an option.
Yeah.
But I personally find this better.
Okay, wait.
Because otherwise you're inconsistent with the spaces between every word.
Okay.
Which looks really nice and creative, but it also looks a little bit alarming sometimes, a bit disturbing. Not in a very, oh, what is this? But more, okay, interesting kind of way.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. As you can see, this is not the right color. Can I change it? There we go. So it should be Lato. Okay, great. Founder of Guidelegs. Great. We might want to have it a little bit lighter here, so it's more subtle. Something you would see at the end of a letter. Maybe make this one just a tad bigger, something like 160. And then I want to see whether this works, and you can tell me whether it actually works or whether I'm just being too creative now, because that also happens sometimes, you know?
Okay.
That's 40, that's 30, 35, 37, and then to the right about, this is the left actually, by the way. maybe that's a bit too creative. Just looks a little bit off.
For the signature part?
Yeah, this is just kind of weird. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that idea. Nice idea though, but because we already are quite breaking things up already, so don't want to push it too hard, I guess. Maybe I can actually... How's that? That would work. So I think this should be a bit bigger.
Okay.
To just break up the lines a little bit, because otherwise we would have everything on one line and it looks kind of boring, and then the alignment would be a little bit weird. So I think that's already better. I'm going to add some padding right underneath, about 20 pixels, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Great. Cool. By the way, I'm going to grab a chair here because oh yeah, that's so much better. It was about time.
Yeah, hydrate yourself as well.
Oh, thank you. Can I put this chair higher? I can. Nice. Great. There we go. So, this one should be mic positioning. It's an art. It really is. Okay, let's see. I'm going to add a nice color to this section here. And we have a new item, which is this one. I still think this is maybe a little bit too much. I'm gonna make it even paler. And just add a little bit more red in the mix. Maybe even a little bit more than that.
Also, I remember that we have a color palette that we based the website on. And for the moment we have like a few colors, but then I think we had like kind of the greenish color as well, like for example the check the price. Is that something that we have also to take into account, that we have to put somewhere also a greenish color?
So because we use that one for the buttons, it draws the attention to the buttons, and that's why we would only use that for things we want to draw the attention to, because it's really different from the rest of the color palette. The rest of the color palettes are all shades of this orange pinkish warm tone. So you'd have the purple, you would have the beige, and then I feel like this one is it makes sense. This is not the same same color, I think. Yeah. But then you have that one, and that one breaks it.
Okay.
And that's why we want to use it only in places where we want to have some extra attention of our viewers.
Oh, okay, I see.
Let's see if I can actually use Photoshop. For some reason, I never really liked the color picker here in this one. That's it. I prefer my color picker in Photoshop. Let's see if that looks nicer.
You prefer that on Photoshop than on Elementor? Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yes.
Because?
Because I'm picky.
Okay.
I think that's the main reason. There's just no denying that. Alright, great. Cool. So As you can see, I made it slightly paler than the first part.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I could make it just a tiny bit more saturated maybe. So let me see if I can make that something like that. You would move it a little bit across the red axis. You would get something that's still pinkish instead of grayish. Alright, good. Then I have padding both at the top and the bottom here. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to add it to the column. And the reason for that is because I want your image to be full sized, full screen. So, advanced. In the meantime, do you have any questions? Any concerns?
Nope, but I'm curious about your process of selecting, for example, photos that represent me, on the website, because we actually, thought about adding photos and talked about the way that he would kind of personalize or maybe phase on my identity on the website. But what's the process of you choosing those photos?
Of choosing those photos? Well, it helps that we also shot the photos. We shot them here in this office a couple of days ago.
Right.
And it's also still like, what do we want to represent? And how does that translate to the picture? So first is, okay, it has to fit the color scheme, of course.
Okay.
To some degree. Don't be too nitpicky about it, because then the image is going to look weird.
Okay.
But it should kind of fit the overall theme of the colors. So that's one selection criteria. But more importantly is, how do you come across? Now here we have a couple of pictures of you. And I chose, let me upload it, this one. It's uploading right now. And the reason why I chose that one is because in this section we're talking about empowerment. And in this picture you look really confident and empowered.
Okay.
Like a powerful lady. So that's why I would like to have that picture there. You can see that works quite well.
Very nice. And I really like the colors combination as well. It's really nice.
So let me see if I can add some extra padding here to the right. There we go. And then I'm going to disable all the padding here. I'm going to align this picture to the bottom of the page, of the section. I mean, I'm sorry for everyone that's confused. I'm sorry for misguiding you. Alright, so I'm going to extend this picture actually. I'm going to make it a lot bigger. I'm going to have, this is about the right size here.
Where did you think that you were kind of...
Alright, good.
Okay.
And then let's see.
So are you cutting my legs? Are you cutting my legs?
Cutting your legs?
Yes, in the picture.
No, I'm not. Actually, what you have to remember is that because we are now editing in Elementor, this is not as wide as the people will see it on your final website.
Okay.
Now, I do think your image is a little bit too large. So I'm just going to make it slightly smaller. Something like 120, for example. Maybe 125. Maybe even a little bit more than that, actually. Maybe 140. That seems to be about the right size. Then, as you can see, it's now overlapping here, so we want to prevent that from happening. So I'm going to increase the padding here by doubling it. Even more maybe. So let's say 200. And then for the sake of consistency, let's see, actually 220. This is an optical kind of thing. So the size here should be the same as the size there.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to update that. And let's see how it looks on the final website. Might look absolutely horrible. That's the risk that you always have to take while designing a website.
I would rather not, but okay.
But I think we're good.
Yeah. The only thing is that for the picture, do you see there is the difference with the pinkish ceiling and then my photo?
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Ah, okay. You did. Okay.
So maybe I should make it a little bit more obvious that there is a difference. But I like the aesthetic of that. And the reason for that is maybe 100. Well, might as well make it 150 then. The reason for that is, as I said, I want to make sure that we get the idea of empowerment across. So you're literally towering above the section. That makes you look empowered.
All right.
So, and it breaks the pace nicely, so you have more a more interesting design as well.
Yeah.
Then I have to add a little bit of code to this section actually, because otherwise people are going to have a little bit of trouble with scrolling here. So I'm going to add some custom CSS. I'm going to add overflow X and then hidden. I'm going to make that very important. Okay, great. Though it now does it for everything. Let's see why that is. I'll just update the page. Oh, I updated it too quickly. Sometimes when you update too quickly, things are going to have some trouble. Actually, I like the way this looked before. 100 and 140. And then go to the section. Let's add a navigator here. Custom CSS. This can go. I'll have to find out about that stuff later.
Okay.
I think I'll just do it with the body copy instead. Now, how's this section then for you?
It's very nice. Can you can you go a little bit slower?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So we
I
see
like
your
it.
image first, right? And then
Nice
the guide
and
to your legal empowerment.
yeah, nice and simple. That's
You can
how
actually see that the height of you in this picture now aligns to the text in the section.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So then we're going to the next one. Guidelines helps you feel safe, understood, and supported. Nice. So first, we're going to make sure that that headline is consistent with the other headlines.
Okay.
And you can actually see that we've already started breaking the page here a little bit more with the alignment to the middle, because now we're going to introduce your solution and your services. I'm going to add some white space. So 60 here, 60 on the bottom, not on the bottom actually. Maybe a little bit more, let's say 120 pixels. That looks nicer. Alright, cool. So now we're going to add all of those icons again.
Okay.
And I can see something that is off here right away.
Which
We're
is?
going to go to the website and see whether you can guess that as well.
Okay. It's like a quiz.
It's like a quiz, you know? I want to make things interactive here. A solution statement. Let's see if these icons work. Okay, great. This one. And let me see if we go here. What size is this? I think 150 pixels. Oh, 100 even. Wow. I'm surprised by my own choices.
Okay.
Let's align that to the left. So you can see here that when we introduced the problem statement, all the text was aligned to the left. Now here, everything is aligned to the center. Even these little boxes.
Yeah.
Now, the question is whether I still like the idea of having this in the middle, or whether we should align everything to the left now that we have those icons and we have a better way to guide the eye. And we will have our break when we and to introduce the surfaces to make sure that people are most attracted to that, or whether we want to break it here so people are more attracted to that.
Oh, okay.
I think that I'll align everything to the left, but let's see what works best. Because of course it's also a matter of aesthetic sometimes. Okay, good. I'm going to copy this icon and import the other ones here as well. There we go. Let's duplicate this one as well. And then choose an image. And we're going to choose that one. Alright, nice. Cool. So I think indeed it's not a bad idea to align things to the left here. Now, before we move on, because I think this section needs some more work actually, what do you think of it so far? Give a little review. What do you notice about it? What needs to change in your opinion?
Well, I'm not sure if it's completely wanted here, but the images are not round anymore. So I don't know if it's, you know. Then also, I think you changed the place of the icon.
No, they're still in the same place.
Still the same? Okay. Let me check again. I like this quiz. Okay.
One thing that I noticed, for example, is the fact that we would have this huge thick line for understand and be understood, while we have the same line width everywhere else. So this one stands out like a sore thumb.
It's not that noticeable, is it? Oh yeah, wait. Oh yes, it is. Yeah.
Now, going from round to more square, that is a choice that fits well because we want to make sure that there's a difference between the problem statement and the solution.
Okay.
And as you can see, we also expand more on every little column than we do here. So that's also a change.
And now, how about
whether this is the same size? Let's see. This is 25. Now you can see that we have some inconsistencies here. So this is 20, so this one is too big, unless this one is 25 as well. So this one is 24. What a mess. So let's see what happens if this is 20. And we can see what we prefer. Whether we prefer 25 or 20.
Okay.
What do you think? What's better?
Well, it's more clear when it's a bigger size.
I agree. So let's stick with 25.
Yeah.
For the rest of the body copy. I'm going to make this one 25 then as well, instead of 20. And of course this, sort of 25. Because a button is always weird. You always make it a couple of pixels smaller than the rest of the text in order to make sure that it looks like the same size. Because if I make this one 25, it looks way bigger, right?
Yes.
But if I make it 22 or 21 even, maybe even 20, then it looks the same size, even though it's smaller. And that's because we have a box around it that gives the impression that it is bigger than it actually is. So we have to compensate for that. This is way too much. Okay, there we go. We're going to make this one 25 then as well. Let's see how big this size is. This font size. This is 24. This one
also, the height of the text. Have you noticed that is not the same?
In this one, you mean?
I think the centered the text that is under the headings is not at the same height as the other one.
It is now. I just changed it to be 1.5. See?
Oh yeah. No, I'm not talking about the size of the letters. I'm talking about the height of the text.
The height of the text.
Yeah. If you go back,
I just changed it. It's 1.5. Here, I just changed it. The same one as this one and the other ones.
Those ones are the same height, but then if you look where you were doing it, there was like the middle part
here.
With tailor your situation. Then when you start with the text, take the next step is under the other.
Yeah, but I still have to change all of these.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was too soon.
I was in the middle of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not that quick. I'm sorry. I've only had a couple of hours of sleep tonight, so.
Yeah, I may be too quick, but yeah.
No, you're on point. I like it. All right, cool. Make this one 25 as well. Now we have two really short sentences, and then one that's longer, because we have tailored to your situation and your business. I feel like that your situation is enough.
Yeah.
And then it actually aligns.
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
All right, cool. So one thing that I notice here is that it kind of feels weird that we have one word on another line. So I'm going to box this one up and then say, let's see, maybe not, just add some extra padding. Maybe that's a better plan. Make this one 20. Is there actually any padding here? I don't know.
And did you design yourself the pictures, or how do you? I mean, with Photoshop, or not the pictures, but the images with the ear and stuff like that.
Actually, I'm going for an entire different approach. I'll show you in a bit. I'm just messing around with this one for a bit.
Okay.
I think that I just want to make this column 50%, see what happens. No, not 100, 50. Just add another one if you're gonna complain so much. That's better. Maybe this one should be 66.666666. Alright. That's fine for now. So the images, you can license them on flaticon.com, and they offer thousands and thousands of icons, 3 million actually.
Wow.
Now, as you can see, they have them in all different kind of styles. So you want to make sure that if you look for an icon, you choose an icon that fits the style that you've chosen to begin with, which is of course about graphic consistency again. So the icons here all have the same style.
Okay.
And the ones that we're going to put here are going to have the same style as well. Now you can see that the one with the ear, that one is a little bit off, so we're going to look for a better replacement for that one. Let's update it. Let's see if we like the way this looks now. Okay, good. Not so much.
I'm taking notes about your
All right.
website thing.
Guide links help you feel. Also, the alignment, the spacing is off. The line height of this heading. But let's see, there's other things that I'm not a complete fan of yet. Let's see. I feel like this should have more space between it. I think this one is a bit off size-wise as well. So this one is, yeah. The sections are not the same size. That's not a good thing. Understand. Be understood. Actually can go to layout and increase the column gap. There we go, that's better. Let's see how that looks. Okay, good. This is actually like 20 pixels probably. Let's see. Maybe even more, 30. Okay, cool. I'm going to have that on every part, so I'm going for 60 on the right. And then I'm going to change it just like that, so everything is still aligned the way we like to. The way we like it to.
Can you estimate the number of websites that you designed?
The number of websites that are designed. I'm counting really hard in my head right now. I have genuinely no clue.
When did you?
And when does it count as being designed? Like from scratch, or also the ones that I have only played a part in helping people out in design?
Yes, yes, everything.
Everything. Like a lot.
That means that you're an experienced designer. Also, do you remember when did you do your first website?
My first website. I think I
Yes.
did my first website in 2009 or 10,
Damn.
maybe earlier than that.
Wow.
But that was really different then.
But
It was
still,
just
like, look,
messing around. That was not professional yet.
so it's been like, almost 12 years, like, since you had that first experience. And what did you feel when you were done with your first design? What kind of feeling were
I was
you?
never done with it. It was a continuous process.
So you were never satisfied.
Absolutely not.
Damn. Why is that? Why is that?
Because it never looked like all the big fancy websites looked. So I had to find out how I could make it look better. I could
Do you remember?
code some extra functions and use HTML, make it look more pretty.
Okay. Do you remember the first website where you were really satisfied with yourself?
I think I still have to make it.
Really? So you
No, no,
never been
no, I'm kidding.
satisfied?
I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me see. Bottom. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Ah, yeah, that makes sense actually. You would still have 30 on the left, or at least 20, 10. I think 10. The first website I was completely satisfied with. Completely
Yeah.
satisfied. I think maybe in 2017. Probably it had a nice video background, and all the columns were aligned quite nicely, and it just looked pretty clean overall.
So you like website with videos,
Back then, absolutely.
and nowadays?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've already done this. I've already done that trick, you know. Now I have to find out what's next.
All right. Maybe 3D videos.
Mm-hmm. 3D video. No, 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 no. I've made a bunch of 3D videos as well, though.
Really? For
Yeah, yeah.
websites or?
No, just for fun.
Okay.
When I started finding out how 3D software worked, I was like, can I also export it in 3D? So then I had these really cheap glasses,
Mm-hmm.
3D glasses made out of cardboard, and then I could make 3D videos that would give you a headache. That's the dream.
I hope that you don't look for headaches.
I wasn't quite looking for them, no. But you know, these videos would give you a headache.
Yeah.
That's for sure. There's no denying that.
But
Right.
it's very impressive that it's been more than 10 years since you've been, crafting your talent, let's say. So I don't know. Did you have like an anniversary or something?
An anniversary? No, absolutely
Yeah.
not. Before you asked that question, I didn't even think about it. So, nope, no anniversaries.
Yeah. Oh, also, maybe I know that you're doing that for, mainly everybody that asks you to design, but what is the main thing that you're like, oh, I'm going to take that project and I'm going to kind of craft it my way, and like what are the kind of project that you feel inspired to do compared to like Lambda projects for
Oh
design?
yeah. Well, there's a certain irony in it because I like the process of going and maybe I like the process of going through this with startups because it
Oh,
makes it really. This is not nice, by the way. I can actually edit it right here, which would be great. I like going through the process with startups because you can actually make their product or service suddenly seem real. Like they have been thinking about it for ages, and now it suddenly comes to life using design, using branding, and the web page. So that's really nice to see, and their response to that as well, that they feel inspired by their own products.
so
Um,
it's kind
so
of.
I really like that. On the other hand,
Mhm.
I can't say that from a financial standpoint, working with startups is always as satisfying.
Yeah. I can understand. Yeah.
So yeah, I also like when the companies are launching a new product or new service or doing an event, and they need something that looks kind of different from their usual style.
Yeah.
I like that as well. Because then I still have some creativity there in what I can and cannot do. Because if it's an established company, they'll tell you exactly, okay, this is the way everything should look, and then you just design it, which is also nice sometimes, but not my preferred way of doing things. So the best projects is where you start from scratch, because that's the most exciting thing. Then you can also really see what you have learned yourself, because it takes quite something to start from scratch
Mm-hmm.
and then make something out of nothing that looks good. It's always a challenge, whereas just doing what you're told isn't as much. But still, if there's a really rich company listening right now, of course I'll be willing to take your jobs as well. We gotta keep this channel running, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, I can't do this stuff anymore.
And so because you like to do it with young startups, is it also uh, an important factor that you kind of part of their journey as well, like the early beginnings,
Oh yeah,
humble beginnings.
that's the fun part. Like in that stage, you're more than just the web designer or one of the web designers. So you can actually make a difference in their story as well, how they are perceived. Yeah, and how people how they see their own brand, and maybe even into a product level of how not only how are you going to market your product, but what are you going to offer.
And have you also co-designed in the past with somebody?
I have to think about that actually. I think I have, but I don't remember on what project. Also, of course, like with my own team, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've been hired as a freelancer to work alongside another designer, because if I don't know the person yet, I'm usually not too enthusiastic to get into that, because if you have clashing styles, or they're not used to working with someone else,
Yeah.
then you are constantly negotiating how something should look and nothing gets done. And I prefer to get things done. All right, cool. So we now have Guidelex helps you feel safe, understood, and supported. And then I changed the icon for understand and be understood. I like this one more, so that's good. It has the ear, so understand, listening, and also, have people help you and explain things to you. You have the little speech bubble, or whatever you might call it.
Okay.
That's the official thing. That's how we call it now. Okay, good. Oh, that's a little bit too zoomed in. Wasn't going for that one per se. All right, and then finally we have our services, which is the last part of this page. Now let's just go through it quite quickly here. I think that one thing we should try to do is make sure that their legal doubts is not on a separate line. So I'm just going to extend this one a little bit and then refresh this. There we go, that's better. Let's look if there's anything we need to change right away.
Oh, why work with us? Maybe why working with us?
That's not English.
Why work with us? No.
Working with us is not correct.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
Because there's... Yeah.
Because before work, I'm pretty sure you have to have the two, but...
Well, you could also extend the sentence and say, why would you work with us? But then it doesn't sound the same way. But
Yeah,
that's the
fine.
complete, let's put it in an essay, grammatically correct sentence, so to say.
Okay.
But
Let's leave it like this.
why work with us is in fact a correct sentence as well.
Okay. Thank you for your English, because, you know, Dutchies are better, I guess.
Grace. Yeah. I like the way your signature came out. This
Yeah,
looks
me
nice,
too.
right?
It looks very nice.
Okay, great. And then our surfaces. Let's see if I can do anything about this.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay. Our surfaces. Styling. This is totally the wrong font. This should be play fair display. Hey, come on. Or is it not the wrong font? It's not the wrong font. That's nice. Cool. So this should be 45 then. And not 900 either. More like 600 in font weight. Cool. So our surfaces, and as you can see, we have some drop shadows we're going to get rid of. That's for sure. And I'm going to make this part of the page the same color as this part of the page. So let me see if I can quickly save that color. So I have to do less effort. Always a big fan of that. Create new global color. There we go. This is going to be called background beige. Let's create it. Alright, cool. And I'm going to add background beige here.
And because it's something that we want to draw attention to, should we add some green somewhere?
Yeah, for the buttons here. Oh, this is not the right one. Let's have this one. A little bit more subtle. Okay, great. Let's get rid of the drop shadows. Edit price table. Let's see. Is there anything there? Pricing, features, header. Interesting. Can I actually do that in this part, or is that not possible? Advanced CSS maybe. Okay. can have a ribbon on one of them.
Also, not a question that I had. Has it been like a very challenging, let's say, experience to design a website so far?
This website.
No, 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 no. In your experience, past experience.
A challenging website.
Yeah. Okay, maybe mine. Okay, fine, but
No. Yours is not completely challenging. It's always a challenge, but
completely.
not completely.
All right.
Let's see. I see that we're actually having some color differences here as well, because I think you changed the text color, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. So I have to change that in the global settings. Okay, a challenging website. Yeah, I had one challenging website that was a huge project and it took forever. And looking back on it, one thing that I should have done was more updates on the progress as we went along.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, I think that every website comes with challenges, but that one came with the most because we had to build an entire webinar system ourselves to do automated webinars, and that was quite a challenge, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened here. Things are loading. Okay, that's fine. Do text. It's a small difference, but it makes things just a little bit more saturated. Okay. Now, it looks like the pricing table here is actually being quite annoying because it has very little options. So I think I'll end up designing one myself so it fits your website better.
Okay.
There we go. Let's see if this has the right color. Barely anything does, I think. The nice thing is people are not going to see what I'm changing right now, but I can see it. That's what it is about.
Yeah, for the experts that are looking, maybe
you
have an
can see
idea.
you can see that it is a little bit more purple.
Because attention to detail is important.
Well, I noticed that the color was different, so I
See?
think so. Yeah.
That's like for the expert.
There we go. Our services. Let's see. So we have the intersection then, and then it says column. Oh, nice. So there is an option there. That's amazing. Loving it. Border. Let's get rid of the box shadow. Oh, there's no box shadow there. Is there one overall? Oh, it's on hover. Okay then. It's very in Elementor you have the options to. It still does it. Wow. You have the option to. There we go. To have different kind of shadows when your mouse goes over something, which is something they did there. But you also have the option to import things as templates if you want to speed the process up a little bit. But usually I spend about as much time redoing something that I don't like in a template as I would have spent designing something myself.
So
So
basically, it just gives you the templates gives you an idea, a good basis, and then you redesign everything on top. Or
yeah, in the end, I get annoyed with it and then I start over.
okay,
Let's see. Does this one have? If I go to this column, style, border, because this one actually is now, but that one still
oops.
doesn't. What's going on?
Now it just reminded me that there is like a drink toast somewhere for Christmas
Ah, yeah. In an hour.
in an hour.
The hourly
Correct.
notification.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I don't know how to do it on my phone. I don't know how to do it.
Tech expert. They probably did it here then. Did they? I don't think they did.
I have to ask my sister. I'm very sorry for that. I have no
That's
clue how
okay.
to do it.
Very interesting.
Notification.
Style. Get rid of it. Please. Footer. Background color. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well. This is going in an interesting direction. So I'm quite fed up with this already. So I'm just going to copy this one. And then see what happens if I just change the details. Because otherwise I'm going to spend the rest of the day finding out what they actually did in order to get those annoying drop shadows that don't match the brand so far.
Okay.
And that would be a waste of everyone's time. Okay, that's better. Pricing
I found it.
450.
I
You
found the do not disturb
All right,
button.
great. It took some time, but
Yeah, I just want to remind all the viewers out there. Well, there is an age factor here, so there's many things to do.
you're pretending like you're 85 years old, Grace.
Well, I think in my head I might be. Not even a joke.
An age factor here. Back in my time, we didn't have smartphones.
Actually, it's very true. In my time, we didn't have it.
No, well, that depends. Like, when you go back to a certain point in time, we didn't have it in my time either.
Well, yeah, but you know, you're young, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're already 28.
Yeah, that's correct.
So old. Alright, great. Let's just get rid of this last one here.
Okay.
And then we're all good. All set. Oh, what just happened? That was not what I was going for. Duplicate. Alright, let's see. Check the contract. There we go. Check my contract. And that one is 450 as well. And then just going to copy the features from here. And then we're all good. Ready to set up Calendly to link your website. Discover specific solutions. All right, cool. And finally, receive a clear and easy to understand written explanation. Grace, any questions so far? Did you have time to take another look at your pricing?
Yes, well, that confirmed my my second then choice.
Mhm.
But just for that, did you change the order or, oh no, just because there are two, check my contract, that's right. Yeah, so for the pricing, that was confirmed. I just had a new, let's say, offer from a client that wanted, kind of a package of contracts. And in that sense, I'm like, okay, how can people, understand also that I can do like a, global thing? It's not every contract, 960, but yeah, for the moment, I think I need to evaluate that.
You don't want to put too much on your website, especially when it's about, easy and prices up front.
Yes, exactly.
So you
So
can always discuss a discount if people contact you, right?
Yes, I agree. In that sense, that's what I came up after we talked.
All right, great. Let's go here, go to the features. Features padding. Okay, interesting. So a little more padding on top. No. Sometimes I have a little bit of trouble with some things. And we're gonna have 16 is way too small. Gonna go for 25, obviously. Okay, that's better.
And about the maybe you can talk, explain a little bit. So you design for products and services. So for now, for example, you worked with Martijn and Enric on their vegan treasure box. So that's product. And you also worked with Janine on services, more personal services and kind of consultation, meditation, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And can you maybe say what is the difference in the design between a service and a product?
In design?
Yes. Have you found some differences when you were designing, or it's completely the same?
Well, I think that whether it's a product or service usually doesn't make that much of an impact on the design.
Okay.
More than the differences in products and services do. Because, of course, if you have different products, the design can be completely different. If you have something that helps farmers, fertilize their ground more efficiently, your website is going to look a lot different than when you're launching a new phone.
Correct.
But I also think that I think that there's no real differentiating factor there. But what Janine, what you're saying here is, she is doing services, of course. Part of our digital strategy now is, after we talked, is to also go to products.
Okay.
So it's a combination now of services and products, which is always something you want to go for, in my opinion. I think is that if you have a product that is the entrance point for people to get to know you, then, and in this case the product is free, but it is free for sign up. So that's basically what people are paying. They're paying with their contact details.
Yeah.
If you have a product for free, still a product, of course. But yeah, I think that's a good combination to have products and services, because then you can guide people more easily into your funnel, and they don't have to pay a big amount of money just like that. So they're more eased into it. They can get to know you and see whether you're trustworthy by buying a cheaper product first or downloading one for free, so they know that you are legit.
Right. So, for example, that for a product, you get, is it the same? Do you offer something for free, or with in the vegan treasure box, it was like a discount?
Yeah, so that's one option. Actually, I think there's more that they could possibly do later on, but it's also a difference in price. For example, they actually sell products, so it's a different thing, because that's more scalable usually. Like tailored service, that's harder to scale. So you want to make sure that you have as little customers as possible that pay a decent amount, that you don't need to constantly have to work and put many hours and make a lot of cost for little return.
Yeah.
So you make sure that your clients go to a funnel that's as automated as possible. So they might first buy a book to learn how to do something themselves, and then they can move on to the next phase, which is to, I don't know, do a video course, and then finally they'll end up doing consultancy with you, for example, and that's the priciest option, obviously.
Okay.
So then you have a way to serve every segment, and at the same time make sure that you still manage the time and the cost well. So products are just more scalable in that sense, and a lot of services can, thanks to the internet, now be partly automated as well. So that's something to take into account, I guess.
Yes.
70. I like your questions, by the way. Then we have something to talk about while I'm doing all of this. Otherwise, it will get like really quiet real quick.
Well, that's true. I have sometimes very existential questions, and I'm like, yeah, why not, you know?
This is the time. Now I can't get away anyway, so
Exactly.
this is the moment to ask them. Right? 80. Oh, that's surprising. I was just about to say so. It's quite intense. Okay, good. Header. Oh, no, go away. Wanna have to make sure that we are consistent in the colors here again. And I don't like this button.
The
Sorry,
get
button.
started one? The
Yeah.
get started one, yeah.
First of all, we should change the text on that one. But so before I move on to that part, what I want to ask you, which one is the preferred one? I would expect it to be the most expensive, this one, because that's the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to make that the preferred one, and we're going to do that by making that button green. And the other ones will make them also green, but in a different way. I'll just show you.
Okay.
So footer here. Text color, obviously going to be white then, which is not in here. There we go. The background color is going to be this green here. And then this should be 400. And default get started should be about 21 pixels. Or 20. 21 is nice, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Seems
good.
like it's the same size.
That's okay.
Okay.
As long as I feel like it's a better size, we're all good. Whenever I'm trying to move something a pixel, people are always like, no one cares, Griffin. Just, don't bother. But they're missing out because they don't realize that I care,
Right. Can you tell what is the most easiest things that you do when you're designing for you?
Easiest thing that I do when designing.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's really green, by the way. Should change that. Let me go to the hover. Text color should be the same. The easiest thing that I do while designing. That's a really good question because I don't think that a lot of things that I do while designing are per se easy, just that I find them easy now that I've done them so much.
It can be from picking the color palette to designing the logo, or even
it depends on the situation because in some cases you're really stuck with the color palette, and in other cases you're really stuck with the logo. But I think generally speaking, choosing typography, I find that a really fun part and a relatively easy part.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but it's just like, oh, mix and match, because there's not too many options in web design that you have anyway.
Yeah. Oh,
there's
yeah.
just fonts that look good, and there's fonts that don't look good, so to say. And yeah, then you just it's a like, what are you trying to communicate, and how do you do that with fonts? That's interesting because it's not really something people think about.
Yeah, with that come my next question. Because you're designing a lot of things and it's kind of painting, have you thought about like leaving your mark? Like, what is your distinctive, I would say, sign on a project?
Like my style, you mean?
Yes.
So one common thing is that just the entire way that the page is structured, you can immediately see that it had something to do with it because of the process. But also the icons, making sure that everything is pinpointed, all the text is pinpointed to a certain design element, so it's easy to read. And overall, aesthetic-wise, it's almost always minimalistic, modern, and clean. So I've made very little websites that actually look really traditional. If you would ask me now, can you show a website that looks really traditional? I don't think I've made one.
Okay.
Because my style is just more modern. Even if I'm making a traditional website, it still looks modern, but then in an old-fashioned way. So it has the heritage, but it doesn't have the old-timey graphics, for example. So it's a more juvenile version, maybe a renewed, younger version of a traditional aesthetic. Then.
Were you always like that? Were you always minimalistic, or did it come?
I think that kind of developed.
Okay.
At first, I was like, let's try everything that I can come up with.
Yeah.
And then I didn't care about consistency. I just wanted to find out how everything worked.
Okay.
And then I was wondering why things didn't look right. Well, duh. But yeah, that's something you learn about later, I think, while doing this kind of stuff. First, it's just like, what are all the different features that certain softwares have, and the features that you can create using code. That's very interesting, to me at least.
Yeah.
And that's something that I keep finding interesting. So whenever I have the opportunity to try something new, I'll do that. But usually it's like on my own projects and stuff, and I'll see whether it works. But because I've been quite consistent with things like typeface now and that kind of stuff, even if I try something new, it usually doesn't stick out too much. Like in a painful way stick out, I mean.
Oh.
That it's that you're looking at it and thinking, that's not how this should look at all. Okay, we can even add a little ribbon there, if you want, with popular, but that might be a bit too salesy. What do you think? We can for sure make it less obvious. So we can say, for example,
so the banner, are you seeing that the banner is nice? Because now it's like a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah. But you can say like popular for one thing. But it is a bit salesy. It's really green now, so we'll get rid of that color. We'll change it to a better one, and we'll change the font as well. But is it something you would even consider using,
Okay,
or do you think, nah?
We can try. I mean, it doesn't hurt. If it's bad, just remove it.
Yeah, we can try. I can show you what it looks like if we change it, and then you'll get an idea of what it looks like. There we go. So this is the green.
With the greenish color.
Typography, gonna change that as well. We're gonna change it to Lato. Then we're going to make that one 400. And
I'm going to zoom out. Let's see.
There we go. That's what it looks like.
Do you like it like that?
I mean, it does create
it looks like
it brings the attention there.
Okay, it's just that it looks like you know, the gift that you have for Christmas, and then you have a ribbon around it. But it's a gift, so why not? You know.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, that's absolutely true. It is a gift, but I'm not sure whether this is something that I really like.
Yeah, me neither.
This is too much, by the way. Can I increase the padding here? Maybe I should try that actually. So I'm going to get rid of it, if you don't mind.
I don't.
I think you don't, because you said you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So advanced. Nope. Style. If I remove this and then put it back together. Let's see. This is 20. That's it. Okay. I'm going to make this one about 15 pixels longer.
Okay.
Not 435. My God. Things are so aggressive sometimes. Okay.
I mean, the bigger it is, the better. So they see the price.
Exactly. So
and it's up front, so that's good.
Let's see. We have text padding. Do we have padding underneath it as well? Oh yeah. If I say 20 here. 30 maybe. Okay, interesting. And then if I change this one at, say, 45 and 45. And then I'm going to take this entire thing and then go here, say minus 15, if it allows me to do the minus. Maybe even more, maybe minus 20 actually. Not that that one is allowed, but hey, there we go. And I can even add the thing that I've removed, a drop shadow, but I'm not going to add it in the same way, so I'm going to see whether that even works in this case. A blur, just like that. Horizontal. And let's move it there. I can say spread. Ah, that's nice. Maybe if I then say 0. Maybe not. Just do it like that. And then maybe change this one to 0.5. Just like that. Just to see what it looks like. There we go. Or maybe I would have like a border on this side. I'm now getting into the real creative, nitpicky stuff.
Oh yeah, I see that. I remember, the first time that we talked about, the price. You had also like something like different size for those. Like you had one that would come a little bit up front and then the other a little bit back. Is that something that you
I'm
want
doing
to
that
do?
right now as well.
Ah, okay.
Border type solid. That's way too much.
Maybe
0.
can you explain to people why?
Yeah, so if you want, it's basically a price anchoring. So you would have 3 options, and one option would be usually cheaper. Then you would have one that's slightly more expensive, and then the most expensive one. Now in this case, you have 450 and 450, and then 960 in the middle. But that's the preferred option. That's the most attractive option if you're doing the pricing well. So what that basically means is that you want to highlight the price that is the best value for the price for both you and the customer.
Right.
The price that people are most likely, or the service that people are most likely to choose.
Okay.
And the way to do that is to make one side a little bit bigger than the other one.
Oh, like that. Okay.
So the middle one, as you can see, it kind of sticks out on the top. And also on the bottom. And I'm now creating some shadows here that are not real shadows, but we're kind of pretending like they are.
Yeah.
Because shadows don't work for your design. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. Just wondering why this one has... Does it have anything here? Margin wise? The column maybe. Advanced. Margin 0. Padding also. Nothing. How annoying. Okay, well, I'm just gonna accept this for now. Column style, and then on the left. And we're almost done here. So for the people who are absolutely bored at this point, I completely understand. So I don't think anyone would care about this except for me.
Well,
I gotta do a good job making sure that the pricing comes out the way that we intend to.
but it's also the attention to details that matter. Yeah, I think you got a good point in the sense that if you're coherent, is also the experience that you want your customer to have. When you come to the website, it's not to feel like, well, this isn't finished, or here it's a little bit, undone or something like that. So I think it's a good thing.
No, for sure. Border, there we go. I have to copy this one to make sure that I'm consistent with my fake drop shadows, which are actually just borders. Okay, good. Then I'm going to take this pricing table here, and then pricing.
Maybe it's
a
too personal question to ask, but if you want to teach design to somebody, where should that person start with you? Like, are you contacting them? Like, how do you usually, work? You are contacted, they do contact you. How does that work?
For 1 second. What's going on? Intersection. Let me see. Okay. So, yeah, just contact me. That helps. And then we can see like what part you want to learn.
Okay.
Because like learning okay, that was so not okay. Makes sense. Can I just space between or space around? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, then I can see what you're looking to learn, because there's so much that you can choose from. You can try to learn more about the strategy that's behind web design. You can try to learn more about actually designing stuff, about how you can pick colors, about how you can pick fonts, the process of designing a good logo. These are all different topics. So if you would like to know more about a certain topic, then you can contact me via griffin@apies.io, or you could probably find that email address somewhere on this YouTube channel as well. And then ask your question, and then I'll respond to that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe if I make this one. It's really interesting. The features. Maybe I can 80. There we go. That's better. That is better. It should be 75 though. Okay, cool. And then the only question is left. Okay, column. And then say layout. Now we're done. Update. Let's see how it looks. There we go. You can see that it kind of scrolls all kinds of ways. So we have to make sure that I fix that before we end this call today. But this is what the website looks like now.
That's super cool.
All right, great. So I think that we've done quite something here. Then
Oh
for
yeah.
me, I have to go to the page settings, to style, and then say oh, advanced, and then say let's see if that works actually. What kind of wrapper do we have here? I have to check it in the inspector tool. Body template. Okay. The class is home. Okay, interesting. Yeah, perfect. If I would just say body, open bracket, and then overflow X, hidden, important, update, and then refresh the page. Nope, still there. Let me see if I can fix that. Like this. Inspect the wrapper itself. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, this looks very complicated.
Yeah, there's a little thing here that just doesn't really work the way I want to.
Okay.
And let's see if it now does. In the meantime, let's edit the header. That's not the right one. Go to the page, exit to the dashboard. I'll open that in the new tab. Sip my last bit of water. I'm going to stand up for this one. We're almost done.
Don't faint.
I'm not planning to, but I think I'll have to look up something here.
Okay.
And what I'll have to look up is why Elementor won't allow me to disable the overflow of the body. Let me see.
I have another question that I wait for you to.
No, go ahead.
It's a very simple question, but for designing a website, how much coding knowledge do you have actually to do it?
To design a website.
Yes.
Not that much, theoretically, especially these days. You need less and less coding skills in order to create a website, because you have page builders like Elementor that make it a lot easier. So you don't have to code everything from scratch anymore. So that's really helpful.
Yeah.
But it is helpful if you want to change certain things, if there's something that doesn't work, or if you want to do more advanced stuff. But if you want to build a basic website, you can practically do it without knowing any code at all.
I just put back my video in case of, because I don't see the screen. So
Yeah,
I'm like, maybe.
yeah. Just to make things a little bit more interesting. Now, it's good to see you as well, you know? After I've been staring at just your name for a
Yeah.
while.
A black screen for.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, yeah, nice. She's still, she's still there.
I'm still here.
All right. I have to go to the dashboard and then to the header. But before we do that, we're going to get rid of some of your menu items. And we're going to do that in WordPress in the Appearance tab. If we would just load this one for a little bit. All right. All right, all right. Takes a little while because of the internet here, but that's okay. Come back to the browser.
Okay.
So the legal servers that speak your language, do we need anything at all here? That's the question.
I think it's quite simple.
We can have, for example, about me and things like, I don't know, services. But on the other hand, if you would leave it out, I wonder whether it makes that much of a difference. What do you prefer?
I think it's fine. Like if you say check up the prices, it's fine. It's also a way to tease a little bit. Check out the prices for what, and then you have it right
Yeah, so
away.
you just want to check out the prices here, and then all of these can go.
Can you go below a little bit for the services that we describe? Mm, yeah, yeah. I think that's fine.
All right.
Check out our prices. Fine.
Then I'm going to go ahead and edit a template in a team builder here for the header.
Oh yeah.
Edit with Elementor. I'm just going to get rid of the entire menu, then I don't have to change it in the appearance settings. I'm also going to put some Vaseline on my lips so I can continue speaking. It's always good to have it with you these days.
Yeah, that's true.
It's getting dry outside, you know.
Inside too, apparently.
Yeah. I think I'm going to make a nice compilation video of my most diva moments on this live stream. But it actually serves a purpose. Otherwise I'm whistling the entire time. That doesn't help either. Check out the prices. Check the prices actually. That's the right one. And we're going to go to services. Great. Let's update it. And also make sure that it actually goes anywhere. So I'm going to set an anchor here in the advanced settings.
Yeah, I do also have actually two questions.
All right, fire away.
Okay, my first question is about the contact us details.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think it might be smart to put them? And the second question is about the terms and conditions and the privacy policy.
So you can put all of that in the footer.
Okay.
Oh, this is not what I was trying to do actually. This should
All
be here.
right. Yeah. Then that's very simple answer to a very simple question. Two very simple.
Right. Check the prices. There we go.
Okay.
That works. Cool. And I can see now that we fixed the problem with the vertical line as well. But that's because this part here has been messed up now, because it should be sticking out a little bit. You win some, you lose some, I guess.
That's correct. That's the balance.
It's balance, exactly. But it's not the balance that I'll accept for now.
Okay. Very requiring, how to say, exigeant. My English is not that good.
Well, it's been quite a while already, so you know.
Ah, yeah, demanding.
We've been live streaming for a while. It requires some concentration, so that's okay.
Ah, it does.
We're all speaking our second language here.
Yeah, but for you, it's kind of even like your first. You're speaking so much better than I do.
There we go. The guide to your legal empowerment. Awesome. Cool. Do I have to change anything from here?
Oh, also, I have a question. So the mirror thing.
Yeah.
That we actually work on and have, the values and stuff like that. How do you print that in a A3
format?
Format, yeah, exactly.
I'll help you with that later.
Okay, because I think it's very nice to have it also in mind, somewhere in my working place or working environment, just to get inspired.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. I'll export it then, and then you can print it really big, like that big.
Yeah. I have to have the walls for that actually, so maybe A4 is fine too.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah, well, okay. That's easy when you're like 1 meter 98, but the other people have to kind of.
Yeah, well, that's life, Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. This is now the entire website. We can add a footer later. I'm going to log out so we can take a look at it.
Yeah.
And we mentioned connecting Calendly as one of the things we would do today as well. We will do that. We might not do it on the live stream though, because it might take a little while, and we both have another meeting to go to.
Absolutely.
So, the legal service that speaks your language. GuideLex helps startups and small businesses prevent legal mistakes by checking their contracts, making their contracts, and assessing their legal doubts. Check the prices. Now, if you click that, you would go to the prices immediately, but that's not what we're going to do. Let's look at the storyline. Why work with us? When you're lost, we will help you find your way. Know what you want, do not lose time and money. No surprises. Quick 7-day services with the prices up front, and prevent being taken advantage of. The Guide to Legal Empowerment. In April 2020, while working at a law firm, I received an emergency call from a client. She lost her working place due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and her house was damaged in a fire. Despite wanting to keep calm, she started crying on the phone and needed to talk to someone. At that moment, I had to decide. Should I remain within the traditional boundaries of my law firm, or practice my profession in a different way? 4 months later, GuideLex was born with the priorities to remain human and to make legal challenges easy to understand. And then signed with your name, Grace. And then, of course, a founder of GuideLex right under that. GuideLex helps you feel safe, understood, and supported. Know your next step thanks to the tailored guidance and documents by legal advisors that do have time to listen. Reach us everywhere, every day. Whether you prefer Instagram, a phone call, or a one-on-one meeting, you can reach us 7 days a week via your preferred channel. It's tailored to your business and your situation. Take the next step with your business without legal hurdles using our customized instructions and advice. And understand and be understood. Go in depth with our legal advisors and learn to understand your rights and obligations. Our services: check my contract for 450 euros. So you'll find out about potential issues, discover specific solutions, and receive a clear and easy to understand written explanation. And then finally, make my contract consultation about your situation and preferred outcome, receive a customized legal document, and receive a step-by-step explanation. And then finally, assess my situation for 450 euros. Consult with a legal advisor, help you to understand your situation from a legal perspective, and receive step-by-step instructions. Awesome. So we're going to have to change 2 things in the pricing. I just realized that. So let me go here and log in again. And first thing that we need to change is what it says here in the footer. It should not say get started. It should say plan a call. And
Yes.
then the same here. Footer, plan a call, and then finally footer, and then plan a call. And we will connect the link later to Calendly, but we first have to set that up. So that's going to be for another time.
I have a question.
That finally, one thing before I answer your question,
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that this is actually English. So receive step-by-step instructions instead of a step-by-step instructions, because this is a plural. All right, good. And that is everything. You have a question.
Yes. Can you go on the first page, like the home page, like the thing that you see up front?
The hero.
Yes. So is it possible to add some header such as actually plan a call or contact, up, or is not required? Because I thought
it depends, but it's all going to be on the same page anyway. So you might say, for example, plan a call as a call to action. That's a possibility. Yes. But on the other hand, if people say check the prices, then you get there as well. So, and contact-wise, that's something you should definitely put into the footer, almost always actually, because people look at the footer for contact details anyways, and no one really likes to use a contact form these days. People prefer to email you with the email app on their phone.
Okay. But don't you feel that it's a little bit empty? Because it's really empty.
I mean, are we going for aesthetic or functionality? We can put some things there, but that means that the attention of your audience will also be more scattered. There's now only one thing they can look at, which is the information that you want to say. It's a story you want to tell. So, okay. Yes, there is not a lot, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Now, of course, you can add a menu as well, and then, for example, link to about me, and then link to this section, or what Guidelikes does, and then our services. That's also an option.
Okay, yeah, I like that. And also maybe the free checklist, because it disappeared and I don't know why.
Because that's no longer something that you have on your website. For now at least, because you haven't made it yet. So that's for the next iteration of your website. This website is made
I thought we discussed about it, that I could do it manually. I thought we discussed about that I could do it manually. So the free checklist, if you click, you leave your name and address, and I send you directly. you don't have to see it. You just have to receive it. So I will do it manually.
Appearance and menus. Okay. Custom link. Ah, this is actually nice. Let's do that. About, and then yes, that could be an option, but that is not the functionality of a lead magnet. Now, also, that route requires right now to make an extra page, which we don't have time for right now.
Okay.
So I would suggest we do that another time and make sure that you now have a website you can go live with immediately. Because if we connect Calendly after we finish the call here, you're ready to go. And the call is free as well. That's also a freebie, so to say. It's introductory, so people don't have to pay for that, of course. Once you actually make the sale on the phone call, then you can send the invoice.
So is it possible to say then plan a free call, or?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Let's see. Why guidelines? Just say why here. Yeah. We can change that, of course. Yeah. Let's see. Let's save this menu. And let's change this one immediately as well. Plan a free call. There we go. Let's update it here. Need to make sure that this one is actually linked to services. Let's update it. Exit to dashboard. There we go. This works. Then let's see whether this is the right one. Absolutely. We'll say Y for this one. And this is... Let's see where this one links. About. So this should be about. And then finally...
I also have another question.
Already the one. Let's update it. What's your question?
So you told me to go live, I need the privacy statement and the terms and conditions.
Yes.
I do have them.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know how do you want to proceed. Maybe something to do later on, or?
Where we will put that in the footer. So we'll make a footer for that. And
Yeah.
we'll do that after the call, after we've had our meetings. Maybe we can have some time to do that.
Okay.
And then we can put in the privacy policy, the contact details, and the terms and conditions. So then your website is ready. And it will connect Calendly as well. So then once people press this button, it will go to Calendly, which right now looks for you something like that. /guidelines. We have to optimize it a little bit, but we have to make sure that we get the right kind of call. We have to
Mhm.
name it, but then people can book it like that.
Okay.
And if we've connected that, then you're good to go. Then people
Nice.
can make use of your website. You're ready to
Right.
launch.
So in Calendly, they can write what they want to talk about, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can make an extra field for that.
Okay.
All right, and this is what it looks like.
It looks very good. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So, thank you so much for being here. If you could put on your video for a little bit, then I can say goodbye to you. And yeah, thank you for being here again. And I'll see you in the next one then, right?
Right. Thank you to
So-
you.
All right, awesome. I look forward to it. Finally,
Bye.
you're ready to go for your website.
Thank you so